Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. First, the headlines. On behalf of His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed leaves tomorrow for Riyadh to take part in the 17th GCC Consultative Summit of Their Majesties and Highnesses the leaders. A team from the International Monetary Fund stresses on the significance of efforts exerted by the Sultanate to face the oil price decline. And Iranians go to polls to elect a president. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Paul Biya of Cameroon on his country's National Day. On behalf of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, will leave the Sultanate tomorrow, heading to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to take part in the 17th Consultative Summit of Their Majesties and Highnesses the leaders of Gulf Cooperation Council countries, which aims at enhancing the Gulf issues of common concern and attending the 3rd GCC-US Summit and the Arab Islamic US Summit. All these meetings will be held in El Riyadh city starting Saturday, 20th of May. His Highness will be accompanied by an official delegation comprising His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Sheikh Saif bin Mohammed Al-Shabibi, Minister of Housing, His Excellency Mohammed bin Salim Al-Toubi, Minister of Environment and Climate Affairs, and a number of officials at the government. A team from the International Monetary Fund during the last 2 weeks paid a visit to the Sultanate to discuss the procedures taken to face the decline in prices. The team hailed the efforts of the Sultanate towards this issue, pointing out that the financial deficit during the current year is expected to decrease by half, to reach 12% of the total gross domestic product. It also welcomed the efforts towards the national program to enhance economic diversification TENFID and the 9th five-year plan, which will improve the horizons of development. The team pointed out that the banking system in Oman is strong and has a good level of capital, where the total reserves in the Central Bank of Oman increased from $17.5 billion to more than $20 billion during 2017. Iranians poured into polling stations today to deliver their verdict on President Hassan Rouhani and his troubled efforts to rebuild ties with the world and kickstart the struggling economy. There was a festive atmosphere in Tehran where Rouhani, a 68-year-old moderate cleric who spearheaded a 2015 nuclear deal with world powers, was mobbed by cheering supporters as he cast his ballot in a mosque in the city center. Rouhani, who has framed the vote as a choice between greater civil liberties and extremism, faces stiff competition from 56-year-old hardline cleric Ibrahim Raisi, who has positioned himself as a defender of the poor and called for a much tougher line with the West. Economic issues also will be on the minds of Iran's over 56 million eligible voters as they head to more than 63,000 polling stations across the country. Russia today condemned strikes by U.S.-led coalition against Syrian forces as unacceptable after the bombing of pro-government troops. Deputy Foreign Minister Gennady Gatilov said any military actions that lead to a deterioration in the situation in Syria obviously impact the political process. Such actions that were carried out against the Syrian armed forces is completely unacceptable and consider it as a breach of Syrian sovereignty. U.S.-led warplanes yesterday carried out a strike in the east of the country against a convoy of pro-government forces headed towards a remote coalition garrison near the border with Jordan. The World Health Organization said a cholera outbreak in Yemen has killed 242 people and left nearly 23,500 others sick in the past 3 weeks alone. The UN Health Agency said that in the past day alone, 20 cholera deaths and 3,460 suspected cases had been registered in the country, where 2/3 of the population are on the brink of famine. The WHO country representative for Yemen told reporters in Geneva by phone from Yemen that the speed of the resurgence of this cholera epidemic is unprecedented, warning that 250,000 people could become sick by the end of the year. The Japanese government today approved a one-off bill allowing aging Emperor Akihito to step down from the chrysanthemum throne in the first such abdication in 2 centuries. Abdication must take place within 3 years of the bill becoming law. Earlier this year, reports suggested that 83-year-old Akihito could step down at the end of December 2018 and be replaced by Crown Prince Naruhito on January 1, 2019. In August, he publicly cited age and declining health, which was interpreted as his wish to hand the crown to his eldest son. But current Japanese law has no provision for abdication, thus requiring politicians to craft legislation to make it possible. While abdications are far from unknown in Japanese history, the last one was in 1817. Some people still believe being emperor is a lifetime job. Still to come in our news bulletin. Winners of innovation competition for the governorates of Musandam and North Baltana are announced. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. 2 persons died and 34 others were wounded after 2 buses collided in the governorate of Wusta. The Royal Oman Police said that all injuries are minor to moderate except for one critical case, pointing out that the initial investigation clarified that the accident was caused by one of the buses going off its track. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health activated the Emergency and Medical Response Plan in the governorates of Wusta and Dakhiliya to deal with the accident. In order to enhance commercial exchange between the Sultanate and Egypt, bilateral meetings between Omani and Egyptian were held in Cairo with the participation of 25 major exporting and trading companies in the Sultanate and 95 major importing companies from government and private companies in Egypt. The meetings were organized by the Public Authority for Investments Promotion and Exports Development, ITHRA, in cooperation with the Omani Embassy in Cairo. The meetings included sectors of food, drinks, marble, plastic, and pharmacy. The meetings came within the framework of Arab Agreement for Major Trading and to activate commercial agreements between the Sultanate and Egypt. Carrying the message of extending bonds of friendship and brotherhood between the Sultanate and various countries of the world, the Royal Navy of Oman ship Shabab Oman II arrived in Port of Suez in Egypt within its route of its 3rd international voyage, Sail of Friendship and Peace, to the European continent. The voyage aimed to introduce Omani culture in various international destinations where trainees directly implemented a number of programs on the ship. The Ministry of Education celebrated distribution of diploma certificates in German and French languages for a number of students who completed the first level, where the ministry decided to teach these 2 subjects as elective courses for grade 11 and 12. This education system was applied in 9 schools and work is in progress to expand the study of foreign languages in other schools in the Sultanate. The study of these two languages came as preliminary stage for students before they enroll in colleges and universities. Organized by the Research Council and Oman Chamber for Commerce and Industry, the winners in the innovation competition for the governorates of Musandam and North Baltana were announced. The competition opens new and wide horizons to innovators in addition to adopting best products and services to benefit from them in the future, in addition to encouraging the Omani youth to innovate in scientific, technical, and other fields. The award covered energy, transformative industries, logistics services, health, food security, tourism, in addition to communications and information systems fields. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the governorate of Dhofar. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies. Winds will be south to southwesterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. On behalf of His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed leaves tomorrow for Riyadh to take part in the 17th GCC Consultative Summit of Their Majesties and Highnesses the leaders. A team from the International Monetary Fund stresses on the significance of efforts exerted by the Sultanate to face the oil price decline. And Iranians go to polls to elect a president. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.